Hey there, and welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel. I am Dave Duz, one of your hosts, and today we are going to be doing bands that deserve your love. And the reason we're going to do this one is this is a band that is widely loved, but it's also split with down the middle as far as whether you're a Max or a Andreas fan, I guess is the best way. So there are people that go, and of course we're talking about Sepultura here. Sepultura. And the reason we're talking about Sepultura is you were either a Max era and you love your early stuff. You love your Bestial Devastations, Morbid Vision, Schizophrenia, Beneath the Remains, Rise albums. And then you kind of start to lose interest at Chaos AD and you hated the Roots album. And then you have people, and then as soon as Max left, you were like, you've got no interest in them, so you don't care about things like Messiah and stuff like the later albums with Derek Green and the changes. Now, for me, I never liked the early two albums. So I never liked Morbid Visions, Boosted Devastation, quite like Schizophrenia. Preferred Beneath the Remains over Arise, loved Chaos AD album, and enjoyed Roots. And then hated Against and didn't like that at all. And then got into some of the later albums as well. So I was kind of a bit of a blend. I quite like Sepultura through different elements of their career. But one of the most divisive ones, which is one of their most simplest tracks. It's one of their most played tracks. And I'm not talking about Refuse Resist here. I'm talking about, of course, Roots, Bloody Roots. It's been covered loads of times by loads of different bands live because it's a really easy way of getting the crowd going. But it also is one of those songs that people go, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this. Now, also Soulfly, I think if you look at the song Soulfly from Soulfly Prophecy, is basically Roots, Bloody Roots. It really is. Anyone that goes, no, it's completely different, shut up, you're not. You just go and listen to it. Listen to the drums, listen to the chord progressions. It's Roots, Bloody Roots. The vibe, everything about it. Yes, they are slightly different chords, but it's still Roots, Bloody Roots. But we're gonna go check out Roots, Bloody Roots because I haven't seen this in years. And I'm gonna work out, does this era of Sepultura deserve your love? If you were maybe one of the earlier bands, is there a redeeming thing, or is this a song stuck in its time? And obviously with Sepultura now going, sure, I can put my headphones on like I'm ready to start, but with Sepultura now coming to their end, they're on their final tour, which I think finishes this year, end of this year. There is now obviously talk about when they do finally split, will the original form of Sepultura come back together? Like with Slayer doing their kind of reunion tours. To be honest, if Sepultura did that like in 2027 came out, which I think it wouldn't come out straight away, I definitely think if when Sepultura finishes, it will finish and there'll be like a 2-year gap, and then we'll see them announce and they'll headline festivals. They'll be bigger than they ever were with Max, Igor, Paolo Jr. and Andreas Kiss are back. They will be the biggest thing out there. They will headline Bloodstock and Download and stuff, and people will go absolutely nuts for that shit. I would. That's the one band that people really, really want a reformation for, to see that classic lineup. And the thing is, I think if we saw the classic lineup, I think we'd be disappointed. I genuinely do think it would be disappointed, but I think the adrenaline of seeing it would make you think it's better. Like Pantera for me. If you're so into it, the reformed Pantera would be like, oh my God, but when you really compare it to what it was, it's cool, but it ain't the same. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, man? But I think we need a reformation. I think we do need a reformed Sepultura, just to kind of, even if it's just a one-off, I don't know, 5 or 6 headline shows at a festival to say a thank you, because Sepultura is still such a huge part. That was my first ever tattoo, was my Sepultura logo. Anyway, right, let's get to this. I've talked for way too long there. Sepultura, Roots, Bloody Roots, bands that deserve your love, or do they? Let's check it out. Sepultura, Sepultura, and Roots Bloody Roots. Love that. I forgot how good a song that is. It is simple, but do you know what? I forgot how many breakdowns they are. So they are really good in this track about really understanding what a fucking good breakdown is. That last breakdown at the end, there are so many hardcore or metalcore bands that do breakdowns now, but they never get it as good as that. That's just absolutely like pucker, just gets the crowd going. And there are a couple of times throughout that song where they just do those pauses and then they launch into another section. And each time it's just about building up the crowd, and it's the drum pattern in there with the little tom fills with the timbali accents in there, which are percussively, because there's a hi-hat going on underneath some of them. So I'm looking at going like that, unless he's doing it one-handed and then flicking to the hi-hat. I'm not sure how he's playing that exactly. I think it was an overdub with a percussion set basically for those bits. Personally, it doesn't sound like it's something played on the drum part, but I'm probably wrong on that. But yeah, such a good track. And this was the thing, I think with the Roots Bloody Roots album, they were going in a really different direction. They wanted to get away from their kind of core, but there's still the guttural rawness that Max delivers in his vocal delivery. There's real anguish in there. And I'm sure like a lot of people, we're all kind of like, where would the song, would the band have gone into effectively what Soulfly became if Max hadn't gone? And would that have been a bad thing? Because they'd moved so far away from their early stages. Now, obviously, with Cavalier Conspiracy, they've gone back in and looked at a lot of their more aggressive stuff. And Max is one of these guys that he wants to be busy. He wants to be doing stuff all the freaking time. He has so many projects. He's been involved with so many different bands and so forth. So if he's not doing one band, he's in another one. He's on the road all the time. He's always working while he can. But I'm really intrigued to know what the next album would have sounded like if it had been, because Against is an interesting album, but it just doesn't have that coolness. And I think the hard part was to go down from losing one of the guitars and then to go for a very different style. And there wasn't the low end of Max in the vocals. It was much more of a raspy harshness that Derek brought in. There was more of a hardcore sound to it, which threw a lot of people off. It threw me off massively when I heard it Against. I was like, I'm not sure I like this, because this just doesn't feel as guttural. It feels thinner vocally. But that's such a good song. I love the video. The fact it's in like the standard 4:3. That would have been no widescreen, no 16:9 widescreen. Although I'll put it up for 16.9 for when I obviously put it up there for you guys. Great video, walking around, lots of bits of rhythm from the towns they were in. Everyone looking so much younger than they are now, but that was over 20 odd years, 25 years ago. So however many years ago it was now that this came out. It's such a good track though. Let me know what you think about the whole Max Sepultura, and where do you think they would have gone? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. See you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.